Washington, D.C., an article in The Hill. Now, if you really, you don't like Trump, and I get it, you're not real big on Trump, just go to thehill.com. Go to any story and read the comments. I wonder what these people are going to do when Trump is no longer president, because that's all they talk about. I know. It's crazy. So it says here, Dateline 0117, which would be today, 6 o'clock. Threats transform the Capitol into a military zone ahead of the inauguration. Does this not frighten you? Does this not scare you to death? What about that First Amendment? What about the right to visit your national capital? To go there and watch the inauguration or go protest peacefully? What about that? Nope. We'll have none of that. Let's read the story. U.S. Capitol, surrounding area, has been transformed into a military zone ahead of President-elect Biden's inauguration. Police step up security after a pro-Trump mob overwhelmed police to storm the Capitol building. Everyone with half a brain in their head denounces this violence. What more do we have to say? It was wrong. They should not have done that. And the people and threatening people, they will be charged. They will be tried and they will be convicted and put in prison. Because that's the way we deal with these things. We have laws. They were absolutely 100% wrong. But what do you say we just lump everyone who supports Trump into the same bucket? We're all white supreme pizzas, aren't we? We're all Triple K members. And if I want to, as the hamster, I want to go to Washington, D.C., and I want to watch the inauguration and maybe, hold a sign up, which is my right under the Constitution of the United States, I can't do that. Funny how it slips away so easily. Under the guise of, these 200 people that stormed the Capitol. Obviously, everyone who voted for Trump is one of those. Really? Wouldn't that be prejudice? Yeah, would be. Except, white men, and all that. I mean, we're evil. 7-foot barriers have been staged around the Capitol, the office buildings, and the Supreme Court. Troops, get this now. Do you feel your rights slipping away? Right in front of your eyes. And if you complain about such things, you're obviously a Triple K member and a neo-Nazi and a white supremacist, and you're evil. Do you see how this works? Very clever, actually. National Guard troops will number as many as 25,000 troops in Washington, D.C. this weekend and for the inauguration. 25,000 armed troops with orders to shoot to kill if necessary. Are you hearing me? Troops have been photographed sleeping in nearly every corner of the Capitol. An inauguration preparation not seen since President Abraham Lincoln during the Civil War. Quote, at a time when we need a celebration, as best can be had under the at a time when we need to unify, at a time when we need to say to the world, We are the beacon of democracy in a shining city on the hill. Our own hill, Capitol Hill, is an armed fortress, according to Barbara Perry, Director of Presidential Studies at the University of Virginia's Miller Center. Quote, "It's not like we haven't faced anything like this, but we haven't faced anything like this in the modern age, even since 9/11. The Secret Service is coordinating the largest security presence in Washington, D.C. history. Not just because of the attack, which of course is in the past and over, but because of the possibility of more mayhem." FBI Director Christopher Wray has noted, quote, "An extensive amount of concerning online chatter ahead of the inauguration." Really? I wonder how that compares to, say, 6 months ago. Is it similar? Is it more? Is it less? Is it exponentially greater? Because anyone who's been on the internet knows there's a lot of bullshit on the internet, maybe on 4chan or whatever. So, Director Wray, would you like to share this with the American people? Nope. Matthew Miller, the special agent in charge of the Secret Service Washington Field Office, said the increased manpower is a direct result of those threats. Isn't that sexist, though? Manpower. Aren't there some women National Guard troops? Just, hey, hey, you want to play these fucking games? We can play these games. Stop being a sexist bastard, Matthew. Just saying. Quote, "There's a great deal of very concerning chatter. And it's what you don't know that we're preparing for. So I don't know if anyone has raised their hand to say we're coming, we will be here." Of course they are. Do you think people are stupid? Oh, by the way, National Guard, FBI, we're going to come. I mean, really? Seriously. But we're preparing as if they are coming. Trump supporters, mostly white men. You see how this works, people. Downtown Washington, D.C. has been overrun by barricades, roadblocks, fences, and armored trucks. The metro system is closing 13 stations in the area surrounding. U.S. Marshals will deputize as many as 4,000 police officers from across the country who will come to aid the D.C. police. Okay, 25,000 National Guard, 4,000 officers from across the country, U.S. Marshals, FBI, Capitol Police, D.C. Police. What the fuck is going on? Seriously, we're up to what, 40, 45, 50,000 law enforcement from around the country in Washington, D.C. for the inauguration because of internet chatter. Do you fucking believe that? I mean, there are officers, federal officers in the FBI, probably the CIA, and whoever else, right? They watch this shit all the time. They're on the internet. They're watching. They're going to these places where I don't even know where it is, and they're looking at this chatter, and you got a bunch of freaking yahoos here, and they're calling up 50,000 troops. What in God's name is going on? Isn't anyone pissed that you can't even go to Washington, D.C. right now? As an American citizen, our national capital, they will not let you go there. It's my constitutional right to peaceably assemble. And they're not letting you do that. Are you with me? This is how it all slips away. Now, are there some triple K people, some white supremacists and all? Sure. Yeah, they're out there. They're saying stupid shit. And they're keyboard warriors. Oh, we're going to blah, 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 blah. And they're not. Remember, this entire thing is based upon a couple of hundred people doing some really stupid shit at the Capitol. The vast majority of people on January 6th were peaceful. They didn't do any of this crap. But they want to take these 200 rabble-rousers, and paint everyone who supports Donald Trump as the same. Now, is it a coincidence, do you think, that most of the support of Donald Trump is from white men? You think it's a coincidence that they're demonizing the supporters of Donald Trump, especially if they happen to be men and they are white? Why do you need 50,000 troops? My understanding is it's a virtual inauguration anyway. I mean, President-elect Biden and Vice President-elect Harris might go up and stand on the podium and take the oath and all that. And that's cool. That's great. I mean, that's peaceful transfer of power. But you're not allowed to go there. As an American citizen, constitutionally, you have the right and you cannot. This is the further demonization of half of the frigging country. Oh, these people went and broke into the Capitol. Everyone says that's bad. It's not enough because you're part of that. What? No, I think it was a bad idea. It's stupid. It's harmful. People died. It's bad. Doesn't matter what you say. You are one of those. And you will not be allowed into Washington, D.C. for the next week. Quote, "We're not asking people to come to D.C., for this is a major security threat, and we are working to mitigate those threats, according to Police Chief of Washington, Robert Conti. The security measures have not been limited to the government." See, you see, that's the workaround now, isn't it? Government's not going to force you to go get a jab. That'd be unconstitutional. However, their fellow travelers will say, if you don't get the jab, you can't work. You can't travel. You can't do anything unless you have your papers, please. And Joe Biden can say, and he's perfectly correct, wow, we can't force you to do that. That'd be unconstitutional. Well, I can't do anything about that, though. I mean, it's a private business. Oh, God. It's amazing. Airbnb shut down its rental service within D.C., so you can't rent a Airbnb. I don't know why you would, and I don't know why you'd ever work with those people. Nothing against them, but it's like, I don't want other people in my house. Ew. No. Yuck. Numerous airlines will not allow passengers heading to Washington, D.C. to check any guns. All right, I might buy that. Carolyn Gallagher, a professor at American University who studies militia and white supremacy movements, said the preparations show government and business leaders are beginning to take those groups more seriously. Quote, "Police forces have tended to discount and downplay the threat, both by militias far-right extremists, white supremacists and white nationalists. See, white men. Oh, you didn't get the memo. If you're white and you're male, you are toxic, dangerous, and an enemy of the people. Now, why are they doing this? Well, again, I could go down the rabbit hole. They're going to say, we had to do this because white men are evil. They were going to attack the Capitol. They were going to do all kinds of nefarious shit. So we had to pull out 50,000 troops to make sure that these evil bastards didn't have a chance to do their malicious deeds. And they're going to refer to this often. They're going to say, well, you know, we understand that not all white men are like that. However, we had to pull out 50,000 troops because they're evil. They're dangerous. They're toxic. Does any of this sound familiar? Anything sound familiar here? Oh, I don't know, something that's been happening for the last several years. And so now we have the denouement, don't we? We were forced, because of these evil white bastards, to pull out 50,000 troops armed because they were going to attack Washington during the inauguration. I mean, obviously, something needs to be done about this problem. We've got to have a solution. Are you hearing me? Link below, James Maxwell. Thank you for listening.